Hey, what's up everybody? GameDad here, coming at you guys with part 5 of my current PS2 collection. We only got a couple more parts in this series, and as always, we're just going to dive right in and check out what is on the list for this video. MX World Tour featuring Jamie Little was released by Crave Entertainment in 2005. Now, this game, the graphics don't really go for super realism or anything, but that's okay because the game actually plays fairly well. The overall AI physics aren't that great in my opinion, but the actual riding physics, hitting the jumps, things like that, it actually feels pretty natural and it controls quite well. So I actually had a lot of fun playing this game. Myst 3 Exile was released by Ubisoft in 2002 and is a continuation of the overarching story of the Myst franchise. There was the original Myst game where you're on the island, then they had Riven, which was a sequel to Myst, and then they came out with Myst 3. And these games were famous for their puzzle solving, for all of the FMV that they had, as you can see here in the game capture footage, and they were just all around really fun adventure games. Up next, we have Naruto Ultimate Ninja, released by Namco Bandai Games in 2006. And this is just a classic Japanese anime kind of game. And as you can see here, this particular one is more of a fighting game. But I really enjoyed how you can actually interact with the environments and kind of bounce around. You can run up the walls, you can go to different areas in each of the different fighting arenas, and you can actually have some depth where you can go back and forward inside the play area as well. So it was really fun. Here is Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles 2, released by Namco Bandai Games in 2007. And this one, as opposed to the previous game, is more of a linear 3D adventure kind of game. So instead of just fighting other people from the Naruto franchise, you actually go through on a 3D adventure. Now, it's not very open world or anything like that. Like I mentioned, it's very linear, but it's still a fairly fun game. Here is NASCAR '08, released by EA Sports in 2007. Now, typically, I really don't care for sports games, and I especially don't really care about NASCAR. It's just not my kind of thing. But I will say the physics in this game are really good. I mean, it controls exactly as you would expect a car to control, especially at high speeds. And even though this was just a basic track that I was capturing footage on, it was actually really fun. I found myself like continuously driving to see if I could get better lap times. Here we have NBA 2K2, released by Sega Sports in 2002, and these basketball games are typically regarded as better than the EA games. Sega Sports often, they had better graphics, they had better gameplay, the AI was better, and right here I'm just doing a little bit of free throw work, and I mean, the control system, it was just more intuitive in these games, I found, than your traditional EA Sports titles. Speaking of EA, here is NBA Live 06, released by EA Sports in 2005. Now, the overall background graphics, they are better than the Sega Sports version, but that one was also 4 years prior to this one. So I would really expect there to be a much greater leap in graphics capability from a developer, especially one as big as EA. But I didn't really see it in this game. Here is NBA Live 07, released by EA Sports in 2006. And this one, it got a little bit more smoothing. As you can see, the shadowing is a little bit better on the players. And the gameplay, it didn't really change much. I really have never been able to quite grasp the overall gameplay of these kinds of sports games. I much more prefer something along the lines of NBA Jam. You just got a little 2-on-2 going or a little 1-on-1, and it just makes it much more fun than having to deal with the entire team on screen. Now here is NBA Live '08, released by EA Sports in 2007, and this one, it felt like they were really starting to hit their stride. Graphically, it's really easy on the eyes, and it looks like they were really starting to push the limit of what the PS2 was capable of in terms of a sports game like this. Now, I am not like a huge basketball fan by any means, but this one I actually had more fun with. It's just too bad that this one was several years later compared to the Sega Sports one that I actually had a lot more fun with.
Now, here is NBA Street Volume 2, released by EA Sports Big in 2003. And this one I actually had a lot more fun with than the traditional NBA style games. It was more of like pickup games, backyard ball, that kind of stuff. And it was just more fun. You didn't have to follow a super strict set of rules or guidelines that you would have with a typical NBA or any other kind of sports game. And it was more of just go out, have fun, play the game. Here is NCAA Football '09, released by EA in 2008. And I believe this is the only college game that I have for PlayStation. I don't believe I have any of the other college sports games. And this one, I mean, the graphics are a little wiry looking, but overall, I mean, it's really not bad. I would have expected much less from something like this, where it's not an actual mainline NFL kind of game. But I mean, it was easy and intuitive, and it played very well. Here is Need for Speed Underground 2, released by EA in 2004. And this one, I gotta say, this is probably one of my more favorite Need for Speed games. But unfortunately, my PS2 was having some issues and just couldn't capture the footage off of this game. I'm not sure why. But it is a really fun game. It's got solid graphics, excellent driving physics, and just overall, it's a lot of fun to play. Now, here is NFL Street 3, released by EA Sports in 2006. And this is another one of those kind of more backyard ball kind of games. As you can see, I'm not playing on a traditional field or anything. It looks like we're in some sort of hangar. The proportions of characters are a little bit off. You know, they're a little top heavy with the muscles and stuff like that. But it just took what, to me, in my opinion, is kind of a boring game, football, and it made it more fun by adding a comical aspect to it. So I appreciated that, and I mean, the game was actually pretty fun. Now, here's the last sports game in my PS2 collection. That is NHL 2002, released by EA Sports in 2001. And this is another one where, for whatever reason, the game capture, I just could not get it to work right. But it plays just like any hockey game you would expect. I mean, I haven't played a ton of them other than, maybe some NES hockey. And I mean, it was fun. The physics felt right on the ice. And that's pretty much all I can really say about it. Now, here we have Over the Hedge, released by Activision in 2006. And this game is based on the movie Over the Hedge. Pretty funny movie. I mean, not anything to write home about, but I mean, I was entertained by it. I probably won't watch it again, but the game is actually pretty fun. It's kind of like a little adventure game, and as you can see, you have some puzzles and obstacles that you have to solve. Typical movie franchise, kid franchise kind of game that came out around this era. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, here we have one of my favorite games on the PS2, and that is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, released by Ubisoft in 2003. And this game, it's just amazing how innovative it was. I mean, I can't think of any other games that truly used a time mechanic the way this one did, to just rewind time and continuously be able to replay certain aspects of the game over and over until you got it right. And what was kind of cool about this franchise is it's basically what led to the existence of the Assassin's Creed franchise. Here we have Prince of Persia: Warrior Within, released by Ubisoft in 2004. And this one felt a lot darker to me. As you can see in this opening scene, he's being chased by some sort of dark force, or like a darkness or an evil. And this game, it really touches on, kind of fighting with your inner demons. And I mean, the overall gameplay mechanics are pretty solid, but the story was just such a weird segue from other types of Prince of Persia games to me. Here is Ratchet Deadlocked, released by Sony in 2005. And this game, it has your typical what you would expect kind of Ratchet and Clank gameplay, except you are just playing as Ratchet. And it's pretty fun. I mean, it has typical 3D action platformer. The whole tutorial in the beginning, I felt, should have been something that could be like optional, but it really forces you through this tutorial and really wants you to know how it wants you to use the analog sticks. And I actually found it more annoying than anything. Once it finally let me out, then I started having fun with the game. The last game for this video is Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc, released by Ubisoft in 2003, and it is just astonishing like how far Rayman has gone from the original PlayStation up to this game right here. I mean, graphically, as you can see, it is immensely more colorful. There are obviously darker sections, but the parts that are lit well are actually really bright and vibrant. The mechanics control extremely well, and I really like the 3D aspect to the game.
So there you have it, everybody. That is everything in part 5 of my current PS2 collection. Now, if you guys like what you saw, let me know down in the comments below, and also be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell, that way you get an alert every time I got a new video coming out. And as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.